Here I have created annotation config application context object. After that, I am writing here ctx.scan. Wait, I'm explaining it. What is all of these things? Just let me to write at first. And then my pizza class was there. Pizza p is equal to ctx dot get bean pizza dot class. I need this. After that, sys out because the method is of string type. That's why I'm using p dot get pizza method. Let me to run this at first. Oh, sorry, it will keep no such bean definition exception. I just forget. Here you can see it is giving some exception. Let me to here bean creation exception is there because here I am writing ctx.scan but I am not giving any package name. That's why it is giving the problem. Let me to copy this and paste it here. Huh. Um, Close this and run it again. Here you can see it is giving my data. Whatever I'm data writing in this method get pizza method, it is giving. How it is internally working, let me to explain this. This at first you need to learn about what is application context. Application context is an interface. This is an interface. That's why I'm annotated with capital I so that you can understand clearly. It is responsible to create the IOC container. In version of control, the IOC, it is responsible to create it. Without this application context, IOC container won't be created. That's why it is a major part in application Spring. Understood? This is the power of application context. This application context has three implemented class. The first implemented class is annotation config application context. This is the first implemented class of application context. The second implemented class is class path XML application context. And the third is related to the file. Here, if we want to work with annotation, then it is recommended to go for application annotation config application context. But if you have some XML file, you want to work on XML file, then it is recommended to go for class path XML application context file. Understood? So here, as I am using here annotation, I am not using any XML files here. That's why I am working with annotation config application context. As it is a implemented class of application context interface, this annotation config will create IOC container for me now. Here I'm not writing any application context. So application context is responsible for creating the IOC container, but I'm not writing any application context here. But its implemented class is there now. This will create one IOC container. It is giving compilation warning because I have not closed this container. It is saying that you need to close it. I'm closing, the warning is gone. Here I have created annotation config application context object. It will create one IOC container for that. After creating the IOC container, here I am writing ctx.scan because I am not writing any app configuration class. Here you can you have remembered the configuration class will be there. After that you need to create @bean for all the classes. But I don't require all of these things. I'm happy with my two classes. That's it. I don't want to create one extra class with configuration. I don't want. That's why I'm writing all this. Here ctx.scan means I am commanding my. At first, you need to understand what is the annotation. Here lot of persons has told you that Spring is very fast. It is like to create a Maggie in 2 minutes. But you need to give some instruction. Let's say you have hired one maid to work in your home. The work of the maid is to wash floor or clean dishes or clean the utensils, whatever the work you have assigned, it will do. But if you want to perform some extra functionality, you need to say to your maid, nah, kid, go and clean all the Spider-Man holes, whatever it is. I'm not understanding. So you need to give some instruction. So here annotation is work to give the instruction to the IOC container. Whatever the instructions we will have, we will give this instruction with the help of annotation. Understood? So annotation is responsible to give the instructions to my IOC container that what I want to do. There's different type of instructions should be there. I'm explaining instructions. Just wait for the time. Here I'm giving instruction to my IOC container that go to this package. My package name is, you can see here, net.test.spring test is my package name. I'm telling my IOC container go in this package and check all the annotations which is required here. It will go and check whatever the annotations will be there. It will come and check and do whatever the work is there. Here I've told you na, some different annotations has different functionality. It will check and to do everything whatever is there in that. I'm explaining. I have one annotation here. You can see at the rate component is there. I will explain it. Don't worry. I'm just going to second line. After that, here I am refreshing the IOC container as in the first line, line number 11. The application context has been created, but if you want to refresh it, then how it will configure that one new data is there or not. So we need to refresh this. After that, here this line is a bit critical. Pizza p_ctx.getBin. I'm explaining this. As I have told you, I am commanding it to go to this package net.test.springtest. Go to this package and check whatever the annotation is there. It will go and check. There is two classes, pizza.java and second is pizza main.java. This is pizza main.java and this is pizza.java. It will go here and check. This is at the rate component. This is the major annotation used for the Spring application. This at the rate component is responsible to create an object in the IOC container. In this is a class level annotation. You can see I am writing this annotation at the top of the class. Understood? This is a class level annotation. I am writing this. I'm commenting this and keeping it here so that you can learn properly. Come here. Here I am writing at the rate component. This is a class level annotation. I am writing it at the top of the class, and it is responsible to create an object to the IOC container. As I have told you, here I am commanding it ctx.scan. Go in this package. Which package? Go in net.test.springtest and check all the annotations that user has given. I am the user right now. So it will come and check this class pizza and it will find one annotation here at the rate component. The work of at the rate component is to create the object of this class to the IOC container. So my pizza class object compulsory will be there in my IOC container. Understood? This is the major thing you need to learn before REST API or Hibernate or Spring Data JPA. You need to learn these things. So whenever I am writing at the rate, I'm explaining it one more time. Whenever I am writing at the rate component to my class, it will create one object to the IOC container. Here I am writing at the rate component. Here I am writing the at the rate component. It is not coming just because let me do this is commented line, that's why. At the rate component, I am writing in pizza class. Pizza, this is my class name, pizza class. As I am writing at the rate component in my pizza class, this pizza class object will be created and stored in IOC container. So this pizza class object will be created and stored in the IOC container. It means whenever you will write at the rate component to any class, that class object will be created and stored in the IOC container. Understood? This is at the rate component. Here as I am writing at the rate component, compulsory that pizza class object will be there in the IOC container. Here I am just fetching that object from the IOC container. I am not doing anything. I am not creating any object. As I am writing at the rate component to my pizza class, this pizza class object must be there in the IOC container. I am fetching that data from the IOC container. Here I am writing ctx.getBin. GetBin method is used to fetch the data from IOC container. as like pizza class object is there in the IOC. I want to fetch that pizza class object, then I will use at the rate sorry add then I will use get min method, and then it will it will take one argument that which type of object is there, that is pizza class object. That's why I'm writing pizza dot class. And after that, as I am getting the pizza class object, this is an instance method get pizza method, so I'm calling this p dot get pizza, and it is giving this. Understood? This is at the rate component. Now after that, I need to explain some more things about at the rate component. Understood now what is at the rate component? After that, at the rate component, it will give an error because I'm just writing here like this: service at the rate service plus at the rate repository is there plus at the rate controller. Controller, where is controller? Here is controller. Let me to comment this. This is not a syntax. I'm just writing it to explain this to you. Here, this at the rate component is splitted into three parts. This at the rate component is distributed into three parts, and three different part is created. It means at the rate service, at the rate repository, and at the rate controller. All these three is the part of at the rate component. These all three annotation is derived from at the rate component. So whatever the work of at the rate component will be there, the same work will be applied to at the rate service, the same work will be for the at the rate repository, and the same work will be for at the rate controller. Understood? Here let me to test this. Control V, save this, go to pizza main, let me to run it again. Here you can see object is created. As I am writing at the rate service, what I have said, whatever the work was at the rate component, whatever the work was of at the rate component, the same work is of at the rate service. It means when I am writing at the rate service, I am giving instructions to my IOC container that create this pizza class object to the IOC container. Understood? You can write at the rate service, you can write at the rate repository, or you can write at the rate controller. All these three work is same. But it is different on scenarios, as like you have database configuration, you want to write some SQL query, insert into employee where, as like you are giving some values like this. So it is recommended to write all the logics in service. Whatever the class, here I am writing at the rate service in this class, this means this pizza class will contain all the logic. That's it. There is nothing more about the service. This pizza class will contain all the logic, as like database connection, database configuration, we are writing SQL queries, all these things will be in the service. Understood? At the rate repository for database configuration, you want to fetch data from the database or send the data to the database, you can do this with at the rate repository. And at the rate controller is my favorite for the REST application. You will understand everything, don't worry, I will explain this to you. But the main theme was at the rate component here. If you have learned this is fine. After that, let me to remove some spaces. I need one more class. Let me to create one more class. Veg pizza. I want to try veg pizza now. That's why I'm writing this. Same method I'm writing this. I don't want to write a different method. Control C this. And let me to paste this. That's it. After that, get veg pizza. Let me to write here get veg pizza. It will be fine. Get veg pizza. After that, I'm not doing anything. I'm writing here. Wait. Control Z. Let me to write one thing here. I need to explain one more annotation. Public veg pizza. This is my configuration at the rate auto wired. I'm explaining this to you, don't worry. I don't use this pizza dot get veg pizza. That's it. Here you can see this is my veg pizza. This is my pizza class. Understood? Just remove all this useless annotation. This is not required right now. Here, let me to write here at the rate component. It is looking something much good. That's why I'm writing this. Remove this at the rate service. I don't require this. Here, at first, I am creating at the rate component. As I have told you, at the what is the role of at the rate component? When my IOC container will see at the rate component here, this pizza class object will be created and stored in the IOC container. Understood? Understood? This that's that I am doing. After that, I am auto wiring this. Auto wiring means let me to explain this. Auto wiring means in IOC object of what is the class name here. I am auto wiring veg pizza class. So in IOC veg pizza class object will be there. I am fetching that object. That's it, nothing else. Here, I am saying that my veg pizza class. Here I am writing the at the rate auto wired. At the rate auto wired means I am saying to my IOC container that my veg pizza class object will be there in IOC container. Go and take that object. That's it. I'm telling. I'm explaining it one more time. I am here I am writing at the rate auto wired. At the rate auto wired means I am giving instructions to my IOC container that go to the IOC and give me this veg pizza class object. I am commanding it that one veg pizza class object will be there in my IOC container. Go and give me that object. And after that I am calling this method. If I will run this method, it will give runtime exception. No such bean definition exception. You can see I want this exception. Unsatisfied dependency. Why it is giving this? Here I have told you at first. uh, Whenever you will write at the rate auto wired, it will go inside the IOC container and check that. Here I am writing veg pizza, so it will check that veg pizza object is there in the IOC or not. Go to veg pizza class. Here you can see is there any at the rate component. Here whenever you will write at the rate component, then this class object will be created to the IOC container. Now here I am writing at the rate component. Now this class object will be there in the IOC container. Understood? Then after that I will tell that this veg pizza, give me this veg pizza object from the IOC. Now let me to run this, it will work. It is giving some exception again. Why it is giving refresh? Error pizza unsatisfied dependency pizza no qualifier, at least one qualifier. Auto wiring is true. Let me to save this. Maybe it is giving problem. You can see I have not saved that. That's why it is giving problem. The previous one was working. That's why it was giving the problem. Here I am saving this program and running it. It is working perfectly fine. How it is working? Let me to explain all the scenarios. Here line number 11 will create the IOC container. In line number 12, I am giving the instruction to the IOC that go and check this package and store all the annotation, that whatever the annotation I am using. Here at first it will come to the pizza class. It will come to any class. It will come to pizza class. It is looking at the date component. It means create the object of this pizza class to the IOC. This is its first work. After that it won't go come inside this class. It will check another class is there or not. One more class is there, veg pizza. It will check at the date component. It means this veg pizza class object will be there in IOC container again. After that it will come inside this method. It is checking that is there any other annotation. Yes, This auto add annotation is there. Now it will check. I am auto adding this veg pizza. It will go and check to the IOC container that veg pizza class object is there or not IOC in the IOC container. If veg pizza object is there in the IOC, then it will give. Otherwise, it will give no such bin definition exception. Understood? After that, when everything is completed, then I am refreshing this IOC container. After that, I am fetching that pizza class object from the IOC. Here you can see in the pizza I am writing at the red component. Compulsory this class object will be there in the IOC container. So I am fetching that pizza class object, and after that I am calling this p.getPizza method. This is the simple thing I am doing right now. Nothing else is required for now. Understood? Thank you.